Did you know that living alone in old age can feel more free and peaceful than living with your children? Many believe that after a certain age, you should move in with your children and give up your time, energy and privacy to be taken care of. But the truth is, many older adults who live alone report greater happiness, better sleep, and fewer feelings of guilt, frustration, or emotional burden. In this video, we're going to explore 7 powerful reasons why living alone in old age can be one of the healthiest, most comfortable choices you'll ever make, and why. It's time to stop quietly becoming a slave to your children's needs, schedules, and expectations. This isn't about cutting ties or shutting doors. It's about reclaiming your space, your rhythm, and your sense of self before it slowly slips away, without you even noticing. Stay with me through to the end, because the 7th reason is one that's rarely talked about, and it may shift the way you see your role in the family forever. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do that now, and turn on the bell so you never miss the kind of conversations that remind you of your worth, your voice, and your power to shape your life no matter your age. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Freedom to live on your own terms. One of the most overlooked joys of living alone after 70 is the simple freedom to decide how you live each day. You choose when you wake up, what you eat, what music plays in the background, and how you want to spend your afternoons. There's no need to check someone else's schedule. No need to adjust your rhythm to accommodate the noise, tension, or expectations of adult children who often mean well but don't always understand the value of quiet independence. There's a man named Walter, 81, who moved in with his son's family after losing his wife. At first it seemed like a good idea, but soon he found himself eating meals on their schedule, watching television shows he didn't care for, and getting scolded gently, but regularly for how he loaded the dishwasher. Eventually, he decided to rent a small 1-bedroom apartment just a few blocks away. It wasn't fancy, but it was his. And for the first time in years, he said he felt like he could breathe again. That freedom, the ability to shape your own day, isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's a quiet form of dignity. And the older you get, the more precious it becomes. Because independence doesn't have to look like rebellion sometimes. It just looks like waking up to your own rhythm, drinking coffee in peace, and knowing that no one expects you to be anything other than yourself. Number 2. Protection from emotional manipulation. Another powerful reason older adults find comfort living alone is that it creates emotional distance from guilt, obligation, and silent pressure, especially when adult children rely on those tactics, whether they realize it or not. When you live in their home, or near enough to be constantly available, it becomes easy for roles to reverse. Suddenly, you are the one doing the cleaning, babysitting, giving up your plans, feeling like a burden when you ask for something, and yet expected to step in at a moment's notice when they need help. There's a woman named Eleanor, 74, who moved into her daughter's home after a health scare. She assumed she'd rest, recover, and enjoy more time with her grandchildren. But instead, she found herself cooking most nights, watching the kids every afternoon, and feeling too guilty to say no. What started as a short stay turned into 3 years of quiet resentment, and she realized one day that she hadn't bought a new book, visited a friend, or even taken a walk alone in months. She didn't need a new doctor. She needed space to reclaim her emotional boundaries. When Eleanor finally found a small independent living unit nearby, her relationship with her daughter actually improved. Why? Because she was no longer the live-in helper. She was a person again, respected, autonomous, and in charge of her time. Living alone doesn't mean being selfish. It means protecting your peace. It means not feeling guilt-tripped into giving more than you receive. And most of all, it means remembering that your time, your energy, and your presence are not something to be taken for granted. They're gifts to be earned. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Control over your own finances. Living alone after 70 often means regaining something. Most people don't talk about financial peace of mind when you live with your children or too close to them. It's not uncommon to start quietly paying for things. A grocery run here, a utility bill there, maybe covering the kids' school costs. Just this once, before long, your own retirement funds start disappearing, and it becomes hard to say no without feeling guilty. There's a man named Harold, 76, who spent decades saving for retirement. But once he moved into his son's home, small things started adding up. He'd chip in for car repairs, vacations, holiday gifts. No one ever demanded it, but it became quietly expected. Harold didn't realize how much he'd given until he checked his accounts and realized he had enough to live on. But not enough to feel safe. He wasn't angry, just tired. So he made a change. He moved into a senior co-op apartment with fixed expenses. a modest community kitchen, and no one looking over his shoulder within 6 months. He said the biggest thing he'd regained wasn't just privacy, it was clarity. When you live alone, you know where your money goes. You make the choices, you set the limits, and best of all, you stop wondering if your generosity is being appreciated or quietly taken for granted. Because financial independence isn't just about money, it's about self-respect. It's about feeling in control of your own future, even in a world that keeps telling you to hand it over. Number 4. Peace from household tension and family dynamics. As much as we love our families, living under the same roof often brings back old roles, unresolved stress and invisible tension, and that only gets heavier with age. When you live with adult children, you may find yourself tiptoeing around their moods, trying not to overstep or feeling out of place in a home that isn't truly yours. You begin to notice things, how you're spoken to, how decisions are made, how your opinions are quietly brushed aside. It's not always hostile, sometimes it's just subtle. You feel the energy shift when you walk into the room. You hesitate before making a simple request. You remind yourself not to meddle, but deep down it hurts to be treated like someone who no longer knows how to lead a life. There's a woman named Doris, 79, who spent 2 years living with her son and daughter-in-law. She adored them, but every disagreement about laundry, television, or how the children were raised left her feeling like she didn't belong. One evening, after hearing them whisper behind a closed door, she quietly packed a suitcase. She moved into a small senior community where she had her own space, her own routine, and new friends who treated her like a person, not an obligation. Doris later said, "I didn't leave them out of anger. I left to find myself again." Living alone after 70 doesn't mean you're pushing your family away. It means you're choosing peace over quiet pressure and self-respect over daily discomfort, because you deserve to live in a home where you don't have to shrink yourself just to keep things pleasant. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5. Pride in maintaining self-respect and dignity. One of the quiet truths about aging is that dignity matters more with every passing year, and nothing protects that dignity like having your own space, your own decisions, and your own rhythm of life. When you live with your adult children, even with love in the air and comfort in the home, there's a subtle shift that happens. You go from being a decision maker to being someone whose choices are questioned, corrected, or overwritten. That's not always intentional. Sometimes it's a matter of habit or their own fear of seeing you grow older. But either way, it chips away at something sacred, the ability to be trusted with your own life. There's a man named Russell, 83, who used to joke that his daughter managed him like an app. She meant well, but she picked his meals, scheduled his doctor visits, even tried to control what time he went to bed. Eventually, Russell stopped pushing back, but inside he felt invisible. That changed the day. He decided to move into a small unit behind a friend's property. Nothing fancy, just his. He cooked what he liked, took slow walks, sat outside with a book and no interruptions, and the smile on his face returned. Living alone doesn't mean doing everything by yourself. It means reclaiming your place as the author of your own days. A person who is still capable, still wise, and still worthy of leading, not just being led. And every time you make a choice for yourself, even a small one, you send a quiet message to the world. I'm still here, I still matter, and I still know who I am. Number 6. Connection with peers and true companionship. What many older adults discover after choosing to live alone is that they actually feel more socially connected than they did while living with family. When you're in a household where everyone is younger, busier, or constantly on their devices, you can feel surrounded but deeply lonely. The conversations are rushed, the interactions practical. You may go entire days without being truly seen or heard, but when you live in a space of your own, whether it's an apartment, a small home, or part of a senior community, you're more likely to seek out and be surrounded by people in the same season of life. There's a woman named Gloria, 77, who lived with her son for a while after a knee surgery. She was grateful but found herself spending most days alone while everyone else was at work or school. She felt invisible in her own house. When she eventually moved into a small senior co-living complex, something surprising happened. She made friends, real friends, people who remembered what it was like to raise kids, lose partners, struggle with aging people who spoke her language because they were living it too. They shared meals, stories, even rides to the grocery store. And Gloria later said, "I haven't laughed this much in 10 years. Living alone doesn't have to mean isolation. In fact, it can be the beginning of real connection." The kind that comes not from obligation, but from genuine companionship, because the people who truly see you aren't always under your roof. Sometimes they're just waiting for you to step into a place that's truly your own. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 7, teaching the next generation about boundaries. Perhaps one of the most underrated gifts of choosing to live alone in your later years is this. You become a living example of healthy boundaries for your children, your grandchildren, and everyone around you. You show them that growing older doesn't mean giving up your space. It doesn't mean saying yes to everything, swallowing discomfort, or abandoning your dreams just to keep the family together. Instead, it means modeling wisdom, modeling what it looks like to love your family without losing yourself in the process. There's a man named George 85 who once told his grandson, "I love you more than anything, but I love myself too." And I want you to remember that when you're my age, that moment stuck with the boy for years because George didn't just say the words, he lived them. He stayed close to his family, but kept his own place, his own identity, and his own joy. He visited often, helped when needed, but never out of guilt, always out of choice. Living alone doesn't mean choosing distance. It means choosing balance. It tells your family, I'm still your parent, but I'm also still a person. And when they see you make that choice with grace and clarity, it gives them permission to do the same. You stop being just a parent or grandparent and become a quiet teacher. One who shows through your actions that love and limits can live in the same home, even if it's a home you choose for yourself. Final thoughts as we wrap up this conversation. Take a moment to reflect on the 7 reasons we've just walked through. Which one spoke to you the most? Was it the freedom of living on your own terms, the peace of emotional boundaries, or the quiet pride of showing others you still lead your life with strength and wisdom? Living alone in old age isn't about pushing people away. It's about honoring yourself. It's about choosing comfort, clarity, and dignity when the world expects you to just keep sacrificing. And it's about remembering that you have nothing left to prove and everything left to enjoy. If you've ever felt unsure about whether it's okay to want your own space or wondered if choosing solitude made you selfish, let this be a reminder. Your peace matters. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share your support. Helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.